Today I would like to go ahead and finish making this little area that we're going to use as the sugarcane, bamboo, and pumpkin farm. I don't really care too much about melons right now. I've got enough melons for ages, but what we might add in some melons later, I guess. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing up there? Ridiculous. Okay, so what I should do, let's think about this. So this design um, is one that I have done previously. I actually, when I first created this, I had sort of laid this out in a series, bit like sort of an iron cross kind of deal. What I found is that since the first time that I made it, I don't know, like 8 years ago or something, what I found is that this sort of design here is a fairly easy design to replicate, and I like that it gives us kind of like a little entrance area, and it's got two separate wings that kind of just lend themselves to being separate, and it provides us a nice little middle area. And usually, what I do with this is I tower it up a bunch, and so it's this big sort of monolithic tower. This time, I'm going to try and keep it at a more reasonable house height, right? Like I don't need anything that is super tall here for the style of farms that I'm going for, as these can be sort of like passive collection farms. I don't need I don't need a ton of output per se, because I am going to rely on just being in this area enough that the pumpkins and everything kind of like get into the chest that I'm going to set up. So first, the very first thing that I'm going to do here is just clear this land. I'm sure you're probably all familiar with how Minecraft works. I don't have to tell anybody about what I'm doing here, but yeah. So we'll just clear some land, and then the next thing is going to be coming up with a build palette for this. I don't know. I'd said last time that I kind of want to stick with a sort of like stony medieval, like fantasy medieval feel. This is of course a giant exception to what I just said, but still, heck, even this is kind of an exception. But I'm still finding my feet in Minecraft again, so I think it's okay if this ends up being a bit of a hodgepodge of different styles. Part of my goal with this world actually is to hang on to it for a long time. The last several times that I've played Minecraft, I ended up quitting and moving to just different games. Not like quitting because I was like upset or anything like that. That would be ridiculous. It's just I got distracted by other games, and then over the course of time, I would lose those worlds. So a lot of the stuff that I had previously ever made is just kind of gone. I occasionally have some screenshots, and I thought it might be really, really nice to finally have a world that is is just perpetual for a bit of time, right? Like my son is 3 now, my daughter is 1, and one thing that I would kind of like to do is just kind of preserve this world until such time as able to they're both able to play as well, right? Like maybe have them build in this with me. You are out, and you should not be. And it's getting dark. That's a problem. But we'll see. We'll see if that actually happens. Like that would be my goal. Is just sort of slowly tinker away at this, get a little bit better at building things, and see where we go. Right? Like this. So speaking of getting better at building things, one thing that I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at sort of like this basic design for a house, right? Like its basic footprint, and I'm going to see if I can't develop a bunch of sort of different houses based on this same, more or less the same kind of template of area, and like the same footprint on the ground here, because like this room here that leads up to this balcony, like I could cut this roof off and I could bring it down, or I could extend this out the side. I can play with a lot of these elements, and I think what it will do is it'll not only help me practice actually making cool buildings, it'll also help me practice how to like vary up my own design style, so that I'm not constantly having to look at a specific tutorial online and be like, how do I build this one particular building, like like this monastery, right? So like I looked up and followed a guide on how to build that. It's pretty much exactly it's pretty much exactly the guide, but this isn't hard to build. It's a series of, like, this is a modular little tower. I could take that and I could chuck it wherever I want. The building is nothing crazy hard to build. So by I'm hoping that by playing with a single house style, or maybe a couple house styles, what I can do is get comfortable enough with my own skills that I can build things like this instead of things like this, right? Because this thing is kind of shit looking. It did the job. It did what I wanted it to, which was to fence in uh, the sheep. Because like previously, this was just empty, right? I had this just sitting kind of in the middle of the yard, and I thought it would be nice if I had something that contained them, but also that kind of matched with this iron farm vibe. So I wanted something that had sort of some dark tones and some nice green elements to it. But like I said, it's very plain. It's very samey. It's fairly symmetrical, and um, I think that's a old building style that I need to rid myself of, is being too symmetrical, right? Even this design, this layout is a super symmetrical layout. It's exactly mirrored on each side. But I think what I can do is, playing with the various heights of the roofs and stuff, is I think I can split this up, and I think I can make it look like a much more interesting build than than the previous times that I've made this. And so that is kind of what I'm going to try to do today, or over the course of the next few days. I don't know. I don't know how long it'll take me, because I haven't planned this. Good day, everybody. So I've been thinking about this. I've been plotting and planning. I have an idea on how to fit the bamboo into this little area. Now, part of that is going to be that we are not going to go quite as high as bamboo possibly can, and we're going to cram it all into this little section here. So to give you an idea, right? So here we're going to have a row of pistons, which is going to break the blocks, which are going to go here and here for our bamboo. So we're going to have pistons and bamboo. This will grow up a bunch, and then above this, way above here, right? So I don't know, here or something. What we're going to do is we're going to have a row of observers actually facing down just above here, so that every time something grows up and touches it, we're going to send a redstone pulse, and that redstone pulse is going to go to, we're going to come over here, and we're going to use a sticky piston with a bunch of slime blocks to push this signal down far enough that we can do sort of two things at once. So the first part is, of course, we're going to fire these pistons, right? Imagine that as a row of pistons. So we're going to fire that row of pistons from our slime block, right? Which is going to drop into here. But then also underneath this whole thing, we are going to have a collection system, which we will use to catch all these drops, right? So I'm going to have a minecart system right on this level, right, that can collect all the drops as they fall here in this sort of like 3 by whatever this is, 3 by 7, right? Because it's 5, and then I'm going to have some overlap. So in a sort of 3 by 7 column, and we're going to have it so that when this is triggered, when this piston shoots itself down and triggers the and triggers the braking pistons on each side, it's also going to shoot the minecart out to grab all of these items, and it's going to bring them back so that we can integrate them into an entire section of chests. So I'm not entirely sure. I haven't plotted out exactly how I want the chests to work, but like what I think I want to do is I sort of want to cut this farm off here, right? So I want everything to do with the bamboo to be contained in at least this amount of area, and I think I can do that. I did some testing with sticky pistons and normal pistons and the rail line in a test world, and I think that's very achievable. So this kind of area is going to be dedicated to the bamboo farm. It's going to basically just be these 2 rows, and I'm going to hope that the passive collection from these 2 rows with a bit of height is going to be enough to fuel my needs. And then what we're going to do is in this remaining section, so like kind of here to probably about there, right? All the way to, I guess, here, right, is going to be this is going to be the section for our pumpkin farm. I think I'm mostly going to worry about pumpkins. I don't think I'm going to worry about the melons. Melons I've got a ton of, and I don't actually use these things for like anything. I was originally only harvesting them purely to go ahead and get trades with the farmer trader. So I really don't need those. And then this last section here, this this area, right, here will be our sugarcane farm, and so that will keep us in enough paper to last us a lifetime, I'm quite sure. And then when I combine that with the passive mob grinder here, this is going to do the trick for us for now, right? Because like I mean, it does have pretty decent collection rates, right? Like I mean, I've got enough gunpowder for quite a while. So that will probably do for us. This is a spider farm, by the way. I don't think I showed that last episode. The idea is going to be that between the sort of mostly passive gunpowder generation I get there and the sugarcane farm here, we will be able to deal with like all of our rocket needs. Not that I need a lot of rockets. I'm making flight duration 3 because it basically pumps me to the clouds in like no time, and then I can kind of drift as I need to. I don't know if that's the most efficient or not, but that's just what I've been doing. But yeah, this I think this layout is going to do really well. And what I want to do is, I think in this little kind of like foyer area that isn't accounted for, I think in here, in this section kind of thing, is I want to have like just like a pillar of chests. I want to have a bunch of chests that contain all of the drops from all of our things, which will mean I might have to either. Okay, so I'm just kind of, I haven't plotted this out, so I'm just kind of spitballing off the top of my head here. But either what I'm going to have to do is create some sort of auto sorting system so that everything from my bamboo farm comes into a wall of chests here or whatever, and everything from my melon farm comes into a wall of chests. I don't know, like here or whatever. And then everything from my sugarcane, sorry, blanked on the name, sugarcane farm comes over and is in here. That, or the other option, is to have a staircase under all of these units, right? So that I can come down into a much larger collection area. I suppose a third option is I could create a staircase up, and I could have whichever one is the tallest. It's going to be this one. I can have a staircase, or sorry, I can build a landing, a couple blocks above this, and then I can route all of these items upstairs, right? Because I mean, bubble column item elevators are incredibly easy to make, so I could do that too, and then I could have just like boxes and boxes and boxes of all of these items there. I'm not sure what is the most effective use of my time, and I'm not sure what will look the best with this building design. But this is sort of the plan here. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do, and like this as well. I don't know if I did this on camera. So probably, if you haven't seen this little section, this is kind of the aesthetic that I'm gonna go for with this build. I'm gonna have lots of stone in here. I'm going to add in some dark oak as I go through. So, and I might actually rip up some of these to place some dark oak logs all the way up. Right? I don't know for sure if that's going to be my plan or not, but that's kind of just what I'm thinking of off the top of my head. We'll see how it actually looks once it's been built. If I have to tear a piece down to make it look more aesthetically pleasing, then I'll do that. It's not a big deal. It doesn't cost me anything but my time, so So I don't mind that too bad. But yeah, I just thought I would give you an idea of what we're going to end up doing. I probably won't do all of this on camera because it's going to be kind of boring. I would imagine. I would imagine it's going to be kind of boring to watch me create this. But maybe I'll pop onto video every once in a while throughout the process, just so you have some kind of update shots. But yeah, so without further ado, that's kind of the plan right now. So I'm gonna get to work, and we'll touch base once some of this is completed. Okay, so it has been a bit of mucking about, but I've completed two of the three farms. So there's not a great way to get into any of them right now. So we've got, as you can see here, our melon farm, right? Got a cart that just runs back and forth, grabs the stuff, chucks it down right there. You see that? Chucks it down a hopper, and then it punts that up a bubble column right here. Just let me check my sounds. Yeah, okay. And then what happens from there, of course, is that it runs across the top here in as you saw, on an ice and water bridge. Drops into here, which is the three hoppers, and it floats into one of these three chests. Now it's always going to prefer this one to start with, and once this one fills up, I would imagine that it will go to this one, and then this one, and so on and so forth, right? Same as this one, right? So once this one eventually fills up, we'll start to fill up the rest of this row, and then we'll start to fill up the rest of this row. And the last thing that will happen is over here we're gonna stuff in the sugarcane farm. So yeah, it's going pretty well. I will show you. I'll jump over there and I'll show you how that all works. Actually, I'll pop into spectator mode. So yeah. See, so we've got a really easy little hopper chain. Tosses it into a dropper with a comparator clock, so it spits it out into this bubble column, shoots it on up all the way to the top. Our bamboo farm is pretty much exactly the same. So we have our rows of bamboo. As they grow up, as soon as one of them, if any of them touches one of these guys, right, we fire off the redstone signal, which chains down through here, pops onto some quick and dirty redstone, which ends up firing off this bad boy. He goes and collects his things, brings them back to this. This, in turn, is another hopper chain, which again goes down into a dispenser. So same as before, this is just a really quick and easy comparator dispenser. It fires it into a water path, right? Which I'm in glass blocks right now. I don't know if you can see that. So it fires it off into there. It collects it in this water source, shoves it over here into another bubble column, which it brings up here, and it rounds off into one of those two hoppers. Now, until this one fills up, it's always gonna be this first hopper. But eventually it'll go to the back hopper until I start to move things around and get rid of some of the stuff. So this one, we're going to cap off this wing of the tower at kind of like one above this block area, and then we'll make some sort of roof. This part of the tower, I will probably actually continue to go up with, and I will just try and figure out a way to build in some sort of staircase. Although, you know what, as I'm saying that, I'm kind of waffling on that idea. I think maybe I will cap it off at a pretty similar height to this one. Now this one, of course, can be quite a bit lower, as the sugarcane doesn't require nearly as much vertical space as the other ones do. Also, you can see here our lightning rod was working overtime the other day, so we've got some real nice blasted copper there. Yeah, I think that's all of the update that I have for you right now. Just a real quick update here. Let's get out of spectator. And that's where we're at right now. I think so. This is 4 high right now, as you can see. I think at about 5, I think one more up here. I think this gap that is up there. What I'm gonna do is I'm either going to continue the brick up 1 and then put a row of something wood. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe some dark oak wood. Maybe some like stairs. Maybe some spruce trapdoors, kind of along the edges, or something. I'm gonna play around with the design a little bit here to see how we can get it looking. I'm also going to split open part of this back area, this back wall here, because I would really like a window in here into the bamboo farm, right? I want to be able to see in here, if nothing else. I can always use the ender pearl trick to get my way in if I need to. So that, I believe, is going to be my goal here. So I'm gonna cut a 3x3 window, or like a 3 by, I don't know, 9 window or something in the back here. And I might use stained glass because I don't know if I just want to use like regular old glass or not. But otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna keep, building this up. Just a second, let's see if we can see kind of the back here. Well, we can kind of see. Yeah. Okay. Quick flyover. I think this will look. I think this will end up looking pretty good. So we're gonna try and get some of this wonderful spruce or dark oak in there. Give it a little bit of a color, the colored section. So that's kind of the plan right now. With 2 of these done, I'm feeling pretty good about this build. And so I will, again, probably I'm not likely to do all of that on camera. The rest of the sugarcane farm and stuff like that. If it turns out that whoever's watching this decides that you'd like to see me build these contraptions and stuff actually on camera, I certainly can. I just didn't think that that would be great content for a video itself. But yeah, let me know. Give me feedback. I will react to that. And yeah, so we will see you when I complete this. Hopefully fairly soon. Until then. Hello. So progress upgrade. Oh my goodness. Progress update. It's done. As far as the guts of this building goes, this is complete. So over here, of course, we have our bamboo farm. Boop, 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 right there. We've got our melon farm, our pumpkin farm, really, right here. And So those will get collected and they'll shoot out here, drop into the chest. And then over here, finally, we have 2 strips of sugarcane, right? That will go that are 5 deep and will get collected and shot up here into this channel and down into these hoppers, which go to this. All right, so that's what we've got right now. So there's no real access to these areas right now. I wasn't sure initially if I was even going to have an access to these. I think probably I will. I think it's going to be around back though. Oh, thanks, Rain. Thanks. Um, so way back here, maybe I will maybe make an access hatch or like a doorway, like something to get in here, just in case I ever have to make any changes to the way that this all works. Eventually, I also do want to probably go ahead and sorry, had to move my mic there. I want to go ahead and get rid of a bunch of this grass so that it's not just grass. This rail track, I should have thought of this when I was laying it down. I don't know why I didn't, but I left it as grass below here. And like, I guess the end of the day, it's not a deal breaker, right? Like I can hide most of that away, and nobody but you and I would ever know about it, ever. So that's also an option, and it might be something that I end up doing actually. Oh yeah. So this I didn't put the I haven't put the back wall on yet. So this is not currently a lossless system, although it is close. Here, we'll just toss that in there. It'll get picked up. It's thunderstorming though, so let's go deal with that really quickly because that's just not acceptable. And I see that my voice seems really loud here. Just one second. I'm just going to change this. I was showing my cousin. Close that. There we go. That's a little bit more. Yeah, I was showing my cousin how to get OBS set up, as that's what I use to capture videos, and as part of that, as an example, I changed my mic settings and forgot to set it back. So sorry about that. If I've been really loud up until this point and blown out your eardrums, I apologize. Let's see. So with the guts all done now, what we're left with pretty much is just to wrap this building in some stone and make it look good. So I guess that's pretty much what's going to happen next. I don't have all the resources on me that I'm going to need, so let's get some of those first and foremost. I've been using this chest as sort of like just a dumping chest, which is what it's going to remain as for right now. What is this shulker? Sorry, I don't remember. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's just more of a dumping chest. Okay, so let's get rid of all of this random stuff, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to work backwards and take out stuff that I might actually care about. So we'll want some of that. Slabs are maybe useful, but I'm just going to chuck these in the box over there for right now. Get rid of that. And cobblestone. I don't really think I want to include cobblestone in this build. I had pulled out basalt as well, as you can see here. I wasn't sure if I would include that somewhere in this build or not, but I don't know. So this is just going to be basically detailing I should go get some glass. And what kind of glass do we think we want back here? What might be a nice color to add in to this, right? Because we're gonna want this whole, basically this whole section has to come out. Right, so let's just clear that away. And then do we use panes to get to add some depth? That might be nice. Hey, let's go ahead and so I'm just thinking about this. I think maybe what we'll do is go ahead and use something like, I mean, I feel like brown stained glass would be a little bit too on the nose. So let's see, I should move this downstairs where my rest of my glass is anyway. But let's see. Okay, so I have some magenta glass. I don't know if I really want to use that. White stained glass. I mean, that's always nice. And it won't take too much attention from everything else. Let's see this. Let's see if this is what we need right away or not. This is another thing that, like, I probably could test this in my test world, but I'm not going to. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second. I thought there was like a string hanging down somehow. Of course there wasn't. It was just the particle effects. I'm not used to the bloom that I have up in there. I've never had one of those before, so the green particle effects sometimes catch me off guard. All right, so like I said, let's try this, and we'll see if we like it. Doot and doot. All right, so it's got like a little bit of a foggy feel to it. I'm pretty okay with that, I think. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. At least as a first pass, let's go with this. I'm going to install this over here too on the sugarcane portion. So we'll just chop, 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 smash those, and now we will add this to this area. Of course, we don't need to have that displaying, so we'll get rid of that entirely. Let's go with moss, a little bit more moss, crack brick there. Good brick, cracked. Alright, so we've got a little window into here, so I can kind of see what's happening. This also lets me ender pearl in if I decide to, right? So that's also an option now, which is kind of nice. Okay, so let's see, what's my moss situation like right here? So it's kind of climbing up this way, so let's extend that. Let's go doot, and we'll go 2, we'll go 1 over. I don't want it to be too, I don't want it to have like too much cracking going on, but I want some in there for sure. Toss that there. Okay, I feel like this one actually should be moss. There we go. That feels a little bit nicer to me. So yeah, so that's basically, this is basically what we're going to be doing so far. We've got, you know, 3, almost 4 stacks of pumpkin just while I was working on this. That's really, really good. Almost a full half chest of bamboo since we set that up. In real life, so there's 42 sugarcane so far. In real life, this has taken, I think I'm on my third day of this project, which might sound like a lot, but it's not actually a lot of hours of playtime. I've got two small children, and they take up most of the waking hours in my life. So, because they're awesome, and I would have it no other way. But it means that basically, when when I'm done work, I've got about an hour ish of gaming time before I grab the kids from daycare. And once I've done that, then it's the usual, you know, get through baths, get supper done, that kind of stuff. So that keeps me pretty busy most of the time, and leaves me with only kind of a few hours per day to really work on these things. So when I say that it's been 3 days of working on this, don't be alarmed, because it's actually far less it's far less time than a person might think. I guess I'm just gonna fill that in because it doesn't need to be exposed. I don't think I have any other, yeah, I don't think I have any other brick. So I guess it's time to go and do a brick run. What's down here? Hmm. I've got it lit up, so it doesn't matter. Let's see if I've got bricks in this area. Not really any normal bricks. I've got a bunch of cracked and some mossy. Not a lot of mossy bricks either, for that matter. Okay, good to know. Okay, well, we will go grab some more from the house here. And once we've done that, we'll be able to continue getting this all done. Right, I don't think that I even have any just like normal bricks made right now. I used up a bunch. So we'll take all these and we'll just make a ton of bricks. Perfect. Toss this in here because we don't need those extras. Oh, just a second. While I'm here, it's a bit of a ritual to empty the chalice. That's what I'm using for my auto kelp cooker. What was I going to do? I was going to toss these windows in here for now, because I don't know that I'll need a whole lot of windows on the what could potentially be an upper floor, because I don't think I'm actually going to make any usable walkable space in this. I don't see any reason to do so, like I feel like, hey, thanks for agreeing with me, my guy. I, I feel like mostly what I care about is having this farm running. You go back in there. And let's go back over to this side. I've got to fix that hole in the ground. And I got to fix this tree. I hate this tree. It got hit by lightning. That's what happened. Okay, so I should just use cobblestone to fill in this area, but let's see. That's a thing that I did. So I had to push this out slightly to make room for the water column that jets this all up. So that has been pushed out slightly since I originally showed this. Let's go ahead and go like that, I think. Okay, I'm just gonna column this up because it doesn't need to be empty, causing potential places where things could spawn. Let's go with one of these, right? Because that Still, we've got like some good veins of green coming out. Okay, and let's see. So there's nothing's going to be seen there, so just plop that in there. And okay, so now is the point. I'm kind of at this height. I don't want very much green in here going forward. I mostly am going to be interested in just the bricks and the cracked bricks. Actually, this is probably maybe this level is where I will do some sort of wood or yeah, wood or something. This is not easy to figure out. I'm not much of a decorator, so this this takes a lot more thinking than I thought it would. Let's see here. I'm also noticing that that little section right there could potentially be a light level problem. Oh, I hadn't considered it, but yeah, okay, so that allowing those to get caught could be a bit of a problem too. Maybe I should switch those out for full blocks. I guess because like that little dude, we do not want that. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. Really, end of the day, I'm probably going to get more output than I really need. So maybe for now we'll just leave it. If it becomes a problem down the road, we can always deal with it then. Okay. Let's take a look at just how this is. Yeah, I think I'm. Let's go up over here. Actually, before I finish that thought. Let's go over here. And let's climb up some trees or something. So we have a bit of a vantage point to look at this from. Yeah, so I think that this sixth level, I think I'm correct. I think this sixth level is a good place right there to start adding something to accentuate the build. Either some wood or maybe something. So I'm going to take off these two layers of this for sure, or at least one layer so that I can get this stuff in, but maybe this is another place where I will actually cut the video and play around in creative mode on my test server for a tiny bit, on my test world that is, and see what kind of design I like for this, because it's going to take a little bit of trial and error. I'm not so practiced with build palettes and color combinations and all that stuff that I can just think of how it would look and formulate a plan in my head. So I'll be back after I have done a bit of designing and possibly after I have finished this build. I might actually cut right until the end and show you the final project, because once I clip all these together, I'm going to guess this video is probably getting pretty long. So until then. All right, welcome back. Okay, so as I had previously said, we're gonna cut this in to the very end here, because what I have done is I have finished this. So that's it. I'm gonna pop into spectator mode here just so that I can more easily fly around and show you this, show you the end result. So this is the entire farm. right? So we've got the bamboo farm here in the end. I've done a bit of decorating on the sides, nothing too fancy. I think I'm probably going to come back and do some more, just some more detail work. But for now, this looks pretty good. This glow lichen is only here just to make sure that these are spawn proof. I couldn't think of a better way off the top of my head. So for right now, that's that. And yeah, so there's the back. Right, back is just pretty much exactly the same as the front, with the exception of this little section here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I might end up making it into a balcony, but the entire, this entire top here, we'll just float through this wall, is actually, boop, just empty. There's nothing in here. It's purely decoration. And yeah, so that is the farm. I might actually end up putting a bit of usable space up here. Maybe some overflow chests or something can come up to here, or I don't know. I'll think about it. But for right now, this is kind of it. So you've seen the guts there. I'm gonna close off this section here. I forgot that. I guess that's the one thing left to do. And then yeah, so here is our pumpkins and stuff. Our sugarcane. Sugarcane is slow, right? Like this is not a fast going one, but it is doing well enough. And then the last thing, of course, is our bamboo. And yeah, so that's kind of it. That's the place. This is it. That's it.